Okay, so the first two topics, we discussed innovation and technology, how it has improved our work, our understanding of it.
Mm.
And then coming down to the crux of the matter, I believe that a lot of people, the idea is cool and fancy to use, but there are constraints, there are biases. So I'm going to come to you, Temitope. For a woman, right? So we're going to look at both equality and equity. Okay, what are the constraints for you? In your workplace, maybe for you, for the people you work with, or for that prevents women from actually participating or coming to the table when it comes to technology, when it comes to innovation. What are the challenges you've identified or the biases that exist?
Okay, I would say, well, in the sector that I work is male dominated. It's a tech space.
Okay.
So most of people who work in different engineers and all of that, most of them are male. I would say that it would be nice for more women to enter into that space.
Okay.
Because of course, there are some areas of tech where women can function and where women, how do I put it now? Where women can play to the same level that men are also playing.
Okay.
Say product management, say product design, UI, UX. We women, we're very visual people and all of that. But for now, I would say that about in 100%, I would say only about 26% of women are able to work in the tech space currently.
That's
and of
very
course, it's really, 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 really low. There's still room, of course. Some of the constraints that we would have faced in the past would be with regards to, say, location, and because as women, you want to have a healthy career, but of course, we're also sometimes limited by the fact that you're running a family as well. But those constraints are beginning to reduce now because there's the option of remote work where you can work. Maybe you work in a country where the hours are different. Say you work in the US and you live in Nigeria. You can cater to your family. Of course, sometimes these kinds of things can wear you out. You cater to your family and then you create time where you can also work and then.
So you think these are the reasons why the ladies are not participating or the women are not participating?
Well, they contribute to it.
Okay, they contribute. Because I see that you mentioned a few areas where you think that we could participate. So what stops us from participating in everything?
We can participate in everything, actually.
Yeah.
We can participate in everything. I'm speaking from experience now. For even recruitment for engineers now, back-end engineers, front-end engineers, I get more men who want to do those roles instead of women.
Okay.
So of course, there's opportunity for women to enter into those roles.
So you're saying if a place of authority is as an HR person in the tech space, and experience that women can actually.
Yes, there's room for women to play.
So anybody listening now that's thinking, oh, this is a man thing. I mean,
it's not a man thing.
It's not a man thing.
It's a human thing.
I like it. It's a human thing. That's very a good way to say it. And then coming to you, the man. It's a man thing. It's a human thing now. Okay, so for you, what do you think? I mean, noisy pediatrician. I mean, the way you dramatize these things, it looks like something a woman can pull off easily. Totally. But when I think about it, I have a few friends. I have a friend, Dr. Zobo, and then I can't remember any other lady, but there could be, there's Dr. Delopo as well. What are the constraints? What stops because we're doing international, we're celebrating international women. Okay, what are the constraints for a woman who wants to innovate, who wants to, or probably use technology as a way to innovate?
Wow, it's so I mean, technically speaking, there really aren't any barriers, so to say. But culturally, I mean, sometimes they feel that women should be a bit more demure, a bit more subtle. You shouldn't appear to be too wild, because I mean, again, my shenanigans are a little bit over the top sometimes, But I mean,
it's even more suited for a woman most times. If I get in character,
if you get in character,
I'm supposed to be able to pull off.
Exactly. So medicine is a very conservative profession, even presently, as it were. So it's somehow I feel that's why men are able to get away with a bit more than women, because they feel like. So first of all, what I find is that unfortunately, even with in the hospital setting, a patient is more likely to call a female doctor a nurse. And would call a male nurse a doctor.
Yes.
Simply because the
gender.
Simply because of the gender thing. And of course, the female doctor is going to have to say, I'm actually a doctor, so why does she have to do that? So that's the way, society views female healthcare practitioners. That once you're a female, you're not likely to be a doctor, you're likely to be a nurse. And so the last thing
Very
that
true.
a female needs is, display of shenanigans on the
I
internet.
know.
Again. So even though a lot of female doctors are doing great work, with their innovations on the internet. And at the end of the day, really, when they speak to women's issues, women relate to them more because they have the first-hand experience,
Yes.
So I think what I have in terms of, advantage usually is my years of expertise in practicing pediatrics and, just the hilarious way in which I present
The
information.
interesting.
Yes, so there isn't any barrier, but culturally, I think women are just a bit more restrained, based on
So
the fact that,
technologically,
yes,
they can participate,
they
and
can.
there's enabling
Yes, it's
field,
just society
field of
just
play.
says women should be quieter than men.
Yeah. Now, talk of what society says, Mr. Denika. Oh no, not Miss. Let me come to you. Because yours is very particularly interesting to me. I can't remember last time I've seen a female chief finance officer,
CFO.
CFO. I mean, isn't that interesting?
Amazing.
Yes, there are more women participating in very C-level managerial roles, but when it comes to things like finance. Prove me wrong. I mean, you are you're in the body nationally for accredited chartered accountants and all of that. I mean, what's the participation like? And then for your role as well, do you think that, like Doctor will say, society expects that we don't know that much maths? I'm happy that you know maths for us. So are there what are the constraints? What are the challenges you could have faced? I mean, our viewers are listening. What were the constraints or the challenges you faced, and how has technology or innovation helped? Or
so I think being a CFO and a female, it's interesting maybe because I have a lot of friends that are in that space. So I don't actually see it as something that's more male dominated. I actually find that being a female accountant, you're more marketable because women are trusted better than men. So it's like, it's easy for you to give a woman your money to take care of than a man because you're worried he will just get, funny ideas and start, playing with your money. So I actually find that, there's a shift in that regard towards maybe more females in the industry. However,
on the C-suite?
On the C-suite. So with the C-suite, I think sometimes it's not necessarily the society, it's more the constraints as a woman because it is quite demanding. I recall having to take the role and literally sit my husband down and say, look, things are going to change because I might not have as much time as I used to because this is a lot more responsibility. And I remember, one of my former bosses actually telling me, and I'm glad we had that conversation. She said, look, it's never a work-life balance. It's more or less like a balancing act. You at some point, something might have to suffer a little for the other.
Something's got to give.
Yeah, exactly. So by month end, you see me at work. My month end process is mad crazy. But again, when I have a little bit more time, then I spend more time with family. And of course, my vacations as well. That time I shut down, literally. No one called me at work. I'm with family now. So that at least they also get a part of me and it's not just all work all the time. And again, for me, I find that I've never really dealt, maybe because I've never let it get to me, but I've never really sort of dealt with society saying you can't do this. I found that I've had to work on myself believing I can do it. Because I feel like that's where it starts from, where you decide and make that decision. I remember having to leave my 2-month-old baby, returning to work after maternity, and I literally was torn apart and thinking, is this worth it?
And into the role, your current role as CFO?
Yes. No. That was before. I think my second baby was about 1. I just weaned her when I started. So, and I remember, looking at her and I was just thinking, is it worth it? Does it make sense to leave a 2-month-old with a stranger?
And this work could make other women
stop. But for me, at some point I just stopped. I said, this baby is going to grow up, become a little girl, go to school. Then when she goes to school, what do I do with myself? So, maybe I should just deal with this now, because I know she's going to move on. And I don't want to feel like that's the only thing I've achieved in life, just bringing up these children, because they're going to go on and have their own lives. And then when they do I look back and feel empty? It's because I've seen instances, even in my family, where I've seen someone, brilliant mother, her children were doing exceptionally well. She has I think 2 doctors in the family, one's a software engineer. Children are doing brilliantly well. And then they left the house and she felt empty. And it was almost like her identity was gone. And for me, that looking at situations like that, I don't want to be that person in 10 years time or 20 years time. So if I have to somehow find a way to juggle it. And, it's only for a short period, right? As they get older, it gets easier. As they get more independent, you don't have to do as much. So,
so insightful.
So for me, that's what's kept me going. That knowing that, look, it's just for a short period. Again, balancing it. And I'm glad with the example of what Mrs. Akonde, because really, it's solutions like that make it easier on mothers. Parents are able to step away and think, okay, at least my child is in safe hands. So while I'm going and chasing my career and making money, at least I know whoever I'm passing on that responsibility to in the short term is doing a great job, and I can also pitch in and check what's going on. Of course, and even with CCTVs at home as well, you can also check on. You just call the nanny. Hello, what's going on? My daughter is in the living room crawling around alone. So at least you're involved. At least you can keep, which our parents didn't have when we were growing up. Once they left us till they came back. That's it. They just had faith till they came back. Totally different world. So that, I think, that's how technology has helped me as a woman. And again, as I said, it's a personal thing. You have to decide. And most women fall off the wagon in a sense, because they believe they can't do it. I think you have to start with that belief.
This is so insightful. And Ms. Akonde, thank you for your app that is making it easy for women like us to relax and do the work that is required. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an interesting episode. Thank you very much.